Well, hello, class of 2021. This is Mr. Patterson and Mrs. Duenas, your favorite GLCs. Again, we realize that we are your only GLCs, but we will continue to refer to ourselves as your favorite GLCs. We are now presenting video message number 2 in the College and Career series. And video message number 2's topic is selecting your college major and potential career path. Getting you guys to start thinking about narrowing down your thoughts about what you're going to do down the road with your adult life. It should be about a 7 to 10 minute video, so let's get rolling and get this baby going. All right, how to get started. First, what we want you to do is start thinking, start soul searching. Just start thinking about your life past high school. 2 questions I want you to ponder. What do I want to do versus what do I want to be? I bet you get asked the question by parents, uncles, aunts, neighbors, grandparents, what do you want to be when you grow up? That is a pretty common question. Heck, I find myself asking it until I thought about this approach, and I want you to start thinking more about what do I want to do versus what do I want to be? Because when you think about what I want to be, you're thinking sometimes job titles. Oh, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a nurse, or I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a teacher, I want to be a grade level coordinator because they're so cool. Whatever that is, what you want to be. And you sometimes get lost in that and forget about, you know, what does a lawyer do? What does a doctor actually do every day of their life professionally? So I want you to compare those 2 questions, okay? So how do you answer that? If you think about what you might want to do down the road, I want you to start thinking about skills. And I want you to start thinking about, boy, what do I see myself doing every day of my professional life? All right? I think we go to the next slide. When you think about things you want to do, think about tasks. Think about, let me use a GLC job for example. What do I do every day? I get to come in, and Mrs. Duenas get to come in, and we get to work with students. Now, I can choose different things that I want to do that day, maybe focus on talking to kids about their grades or behaviors or things like that, or I can choose just to go out on campus and stop by and visit a classroom or talk to teachers or whatnot. So I'm thinking about the task I'm going to do every day of my job in my career. Don't just think of what you want to be, because that's going to lead you down a direction where you're going to get caught up and really get caught up in the name of the career. You know, it sounds exciting possibly to be a doctor or a lawyer without thinking about, heck, what does that actual profession do every day of their life? So let's start focusing in that regard right now. All right. I think we covered that. Sometimes what you want to be does not lead to doing what you want with your career and life. So, and I'm talking from experience here. Not so much my life, but students that I've guided through the years. Like I started with the class of 1997 as a GLC, and a lot of those kids are back now. They're adults, obviously, and some of them are parents of your classmates. And we talk about this type of thing with them. What are they doing with their career? Did they think about the tasks they were going to do with their career? So I want you to fast forward a little bit and think about what you're going to do versus what you want to be. Staircase approach, that's what we call it. We've kind of given it a name, the staircase approach. Mrs. Duenas is going to take stair number 1.
All right, guys, let's talk about this staircase approach. So we really want you to visualize as if you are standing at the bottom of a staircase, and each of the steps that we're talking about is the next step to get you to think about these things for your possible career path or major. So stair 1 is starting with the basics. We want you to think about skills that you possess. What do you enjoy doing? What are you good at? And this could be you reflecting on things that you've done at school with writing assignments. Do you like talking? That's me. I'm a huge talker. I love to chit chat with people. I talk to strangers. So I'm in the right line of work because I get to talk to people all day long, typically. But thinking about things that you like to do. Okay, we've listed a few examples there. Working with your hands, reading, organizing. You like to research stuff. Just starting to think about those basic skills that you have that you would like to use on a daily basis. So that would be the first step. STAIR 1 is thinking about the basics. What are things that you really enjoy doing? Things about your own character that you want to see, that you want to use on a daily basis at work. So like I kind of mentioned before, we can think about school projects or assignments that you've been assigned, that you've done well on. What do you do in your free time? You know, is there something that really calls to you that you enjoy doing in your free time that you could potentially put into a career or major in the future? And then what gives you energy? What excites you? So what we're really asking you to do here is find your passion, find what is driving you, or things that you really enjoy doing that you feel called to do to help fill that first step, so you can figure out what the basic things are that you're good at, that you enjoy, to move on to step 2.
All right, so staircase number 2. So the next step in the staircase is we want you to, once you've identified the skills in STAIR number 1, we want you to start thinking about and doing some research on what jobs will allow me to use those God-given skills that I have. So the skills that you've identified in STAIR number 1, say, what can I do for a living? What job will allow me to do those types of things? If I like to read and I like to write, then maybe becoming a lawyer would be something that you would be happy doing every day, because lawyers are going to read a lot. They have to read a lot of data, a lot of information, and get to the nitty-gritty of the paragraph and say, this is the most important sentence in this entire report here. And they have to write and prepare for their cases. So they're taking their writing skills and their reading skills that they like doing and they're good at, and turning it into something they can do every day in their job. So that's an example that I want to leave you with there for STAIR number 2. Another example would be working with your hands. There's so many things that you can do in this world that you work with your hands. It take a lot of brains, but you're really good with your hand-eye coordination as well. You might love building things. I mean, you might have started off as a little kid, with Legos and just constructing things with your family, your parents and whatnot. And you go on to school and you start becoming an engineer, or you start thinking about, man, I'm really good at building things. Maybe I'm an engineering degree. Maybe I become a contractor where I actually start building homes for people, things of that nature. And that takes education. So first, you're taking the skills of STAIR number 1, and then you're figuring out what jobs will allow me to use those skills. And that's STAIR number 2. So let's go on to STAIR number 3 with Mrs. Boyne.
So once you've determined those 2 things, we can move on to STAIR number 3, where you're going to start thinking about what kind of education or training is required for me to pursue that career or major. So once you've started thinking about that, you can research the type of educations or type of educational institutions that you should be looking into for that kind of thing. So does your future job require training that could be obtained via a trade or technical school? Do you need an associate's degree or an arts degree from a community college? Do you need a 4-year degree or an advanced degree like a master's degree or a doctoral degree of some sort? So that is a big piece of this huge step. So you've found the skills that you want to continue to hone and pursue in your career. You have looked at different jobs that will highlight those skills, and now you're looking at what kind of education level do I need to obtain so I can pursue that career.
All right, so STAIR number 4, it's the last stair in the staircase. So you've identified skills, things that you love to do, things that you're good at and you're passionate about. You've identified jobs that will let you figure out or be able to utilize those God-given skills. And then you've identified what kind of education you're going to need. Now, since you know what kind of education you need, now you can start looking for the actual institution, the college that you can go to that will allow you to get that education. So go through the staircase like that. Let's say that you need a job or you are looking for a career and it needs a college education, an undergraduate degree. Well, start looking for universities that will allow you to pursue that education. Look for universities that have that as a major. Yeah, if you're going into becoming a lawyer, maybe it's English, maybe it's philosophy, who knows what it might be. A lot of different majors go into the field of law. So now you're starting to identify what actual institutions will allow you to get that possible education and degree. So do your research, find the right place for you to get your training to achieve the educational level from step number 3.
So to summarize our nice little staircase here, identify your skills, that's your first step. Find jobs and careers that allow you to use your skills. Find out what kind of education or training you're going to need to pursue that. And then research those schools and training programs, colleges, universities, whatever it is that you need to pursue so that you can follow up with that degree or career choice.
All right, so just a quick summary on that, guys. The whole purpose of this is to get something that can be very complicated and stressful. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to be or what I'm going to do. That's a big one. That's a big question. We all went through it, and some of us go through it for many, many years. But we want you just to kind of narrow it down, and this is why we put it into these simple steps for you. So dream about what you want to accomplish in your life, the ODPP, dream, plan, and pursue. Plan, make a plan or 2 or 3. You might have to go to plan B or plan C in life, but that's perfectly fine. And then pursue it with passion. Get after it. Get excited about your plan and pursue it with enthusiasm, energy, and dedication. And don't let somebody rain on your parade. You know, listen to their advice, but if you've got a plan and you're passionate about it, go for it. That wraps this one up. Mrs. Duenas, any final words?
That's it, you guys. We're excited about this next step that you guys are getting into, and we hope that you're using these videos to help propel you. But we're excited to help you guys out through this step.
We'll be posting not only this PowerPoint that you're seeing, but the actual presentation and the actual PowerPoint, so you can just kind of read it on your own as well. It'll be on the Class of 2021 webpage very soon, so check it out, and you can also look at video message number 1 if you missed that one. Peace. Be good.
All right. Bye, guys.